Hey guys, I'm Glenn and I'm just an average guy cooking things that if I can cook them, you can too. And this year, my family and I, we decided to stay home for Thanksgiving, and so I decided to smoke a turkey. So that is today's recipe. I'm gonna show you how I cook this amazing bird. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so one of the first steps in preparing our turkey is we're gonna brine it. Now what you're going to want to use for the brine is you're going to start with around a gallon of water. Then you're going to add 1.5 cups of salt, 1 cup brown sugar, 1 cup honey, and I also like to use half a cup of apple cider vinegar, a few bay leaves, 2 tablespoons of a dill, and then just a sprig of thyme. And you're going to take that and put that all in the water, but the water does need to be warm. And then you're going to mix it around just so kind of everything dissolves in there. You can also add things like molasses, black pepper, different seasonings that you may like. But this is what I choose to use. And so you're going to mix it all together and then let that cool. And you're going to take your bird, and it needs to be submerged in the brine for at least overnight. You can do 24 hours. Some people like to do longer periods, but at minimum you want to do overnight. And it may require more water than this, and that's just fine. This is just to start with. Submerge the turkey, and then if you have to add more water, just add plain water. But what I'm using is I went to Home Depot and got a Home Depot bucket because this will fit in my fridge and also doesn't require a whole lot of space. So you just simply take your turkey and put it inside, and then we're just going to go ahead and pour our brine over the turkey. Kind of get some of that dill. And so, this holds about a gallon, but I will have to fill this up 2-3 more times just to get the bird fully submerged in the brine. And then from there, you're just gonna go ahead and put the lid on it, and you're gonna refrigerate it, again, overnight at minimum or 24 hours. But that's pretty much it for the brine. And then once that's done, we'll move on to the next step. So now that we've had our turkey brining at least overnight, which is what I did, I didn't have 24 hours to brine this thing. But once you take it out of the brine, you want to go ahead and wash it all off, get all that brine off, get it ready so that way we can begin to prepare it for smoking. So a few things that I've got here. I've got a 1.5 tablespoons of minced garlic. If you guys watch my channel at all, then you guys know that I'm a big fan of minced garlic. I've got some oil spray here. I'm using avocado oil. I like to use a spray just because it's easier to coat this, but you can do it by hand. You can use many different types of oils. It's really whatever your preference is. I've got some seasoning here that I've mixed up myself, and what this is salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of paprika. The paprika is not so much for flavor or spice, but also for color and a little bit of flavor. And then we're going to be flavor injecting this bird in multiple locations. But I've got melted butter here, half a stick of melted butter, and about 1/2 cup of chicken broth. And I also put a little bit of chicken bullion in there just to boost it up a little bit more from there. And then I've also got some sliced carrots and celery and onion that we're going to be stuffing inside that bird just to give it a little bit more flavor. But let's go ahead and prepare it here. So we're going to take our garlic and just work it all around the bird. Now, once we got all the garlic on there, we're going to go ahead and start spraying it down with our olive oil. And just a good coat all over the bird because this is also going to help for coloring, and it's going to help our seasoning stick. All right, now that we've got that coated, we're going to go ahead and put our seasoning on. And one thing that I did want to note too is that you do want to save some of the brine. I saved about 2 cups of the brine because my smoker has a liquid tray down at the bottom. I have an electric master built, which I will leave a link down below if you're interested in one of those. Make sure you check it out. I'm very pleased with it, very convenient. But mine has a liquid tray, and so I figured it would be best to keep some of the brine to put in that liquid tray, just to keep some of the flavor going, as well as keep our turkey moist. All right, now that we've got the seasoning done, we're gonna go ahead and stuff it here. All this stuff will give it some nice good flavor. Now that we've got our bird stuffed, we're going to go ahead and start doing our flavor injecting. So we're mainly going to concentrate on a few areas around the breast here. And as you can see, it's washing off some of the seasoning, so it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and do this and then put the seasoning on. You just basically want to get it in all the meaty areas. And so now that we've got it all flavor injected, we're just going to go ahead and top off any areas that the seasoning may have come off. And then we're going to go ahead and just kind of lightly spray it down again, just to seal all that seasoning on there so it doesn't fall off while we're moving it to the smoker. Not too heavy because you don't want it washing off all that seasoning, but just enough to get it on there, help the coloration of the bird. Okay, and that's it. So now we're ready to go ahead and go stick this thing in the smoker. So for our smoker, today we're going to be using pecan wood chips. These help a lot with the flavor of turkey. So I'll probably have to fill that up about 2 to 3 times throughout the process of cooking the turkey. And then also I'm using a master built electric smoker, which is awesome. You'll find a link down in the description below for that. But I also saved about 2 cups of the brine that we use to brine our turkey, and this will be going in the liquid tray in that master built, just to help keep the turkey moist and also for some flavor and stuff like that as well. So that's it for what goes inside of our smoker. Let's go ahead and throw it in the smoker. And we're going to set the smoker for about 275 degrees, and it's going to cook for right around 3 hours. Alright, so now that we've got our bird up to temp, which is 170 degrees in multiple locations, you always want to try the thickest part of the bird. Lots of people, when it comes to smoking, make the common mistake of thinking that they're cooking to thyme, but you're not really cooking to time, you're cooking to temperature. This bird took just under 3 hours to smoke, and I actually got over 170 degrees, closer to 180 in a few spots. So I'm hoping it's not going to be dry, but let's go ahead and cut into this bird and see how it came out. Man, that looks good. Really tender. Cuts very smooth. Doesn't look too dry to me. Good texture, just kind of falls apart. Nice and juicy. That is really good. Really good flavor to it. I'm not a huge turkey fan. I actually don't like turkey too much. A few slices for Thanksgiving, that's good for me. Because usually turkey to me just tastes dry over time. But this is really good. This is the first time that I've smoked a turkey for Thanksgiving, and I'm really glad that I did. This is really good. Well, I hope you guys liked today's recipe. If you do try this, please let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of it. And that's pretty much it. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you'll get notified of future videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one.